You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got some serious movement on one of the most controversial quarterbacks in all of the NFL, and I'm talking about Russell Wilson, a guy that signed a massive contract a couple of years ago with the Denver Broncos. They, of course, fired Nathaniel Hackett. That was a train wreck. They brought in Sean Payton. Russell Wilson had a better year. But Sean Payton ultimately has decided, I believe, unless he can get him for less money, and this would indicate that's probably not going to happen, and Russell Wilson may want out of town too, that Russell Wilson's leaving the Denver Broncos, and Sean Payton has ultimately come to the conclusion that's not the guy he wants running his offense. So I got two major things involving Russell Wilson and some indications about his future. Number one, Russell Wilson just put his $25 million Denver mansion up for sale. Yeah, that's usually a real good indication that somebody is getting the hell out of town. And we've got some serious betting favorites for Russell Wilson. Always remember, these sharps behind the scenes are tied in even to people in the front offices of these NFL teams. It's all sort of incestual, let's put it that way, involving these NFL teams. So, according to a report from Business Den, the quarterback and his wife, Ciara, appear to be ready for the possibility that they are, quote, accepting offers, talking about the possibility of getting out of Broncos country, on their Denver area mansion that the couple bought for a whopping $25 million in 2022. After the season's benching drama, Wilson's future with the Broncos has become murky at best. The veteran signal caller had a roller coaster 2 seasons with the team after a trade from the Seahawks and was benched for Denver's final 2 games of 2023 in favor of Jarrett Stidham, as speculation begins that the team set Wilson over his 2025 injury guarantee. That's a big reason why they set him. That stipulation in the contract would guarantee Wilson making $37 million. Wow. If he was still on the roster on March 17th. The guarantee would have kicked in had Wilson been seriously hurt and not been able to pass a physical with another potential suitor in the offseason. Obviously, the team didn't want that to happen. Wilson clarified on December 29 that the team had approached him earlier in the season in October to take a benching over the injury guarantee. Quote, we beat the Chiefs. They came up to me during the bye week, the beginning of the bye week, Monday or Tuesday, and they told me that if I didn't change my contract, my injury guarantee, that I'd be benched for the rest of the year, Wilson said in a media session. And we had 9 games left or so. I was definitely disappointed about it, and it was a process throughout the whole week for the whole bye week. During the lead-up to the Super Bowl, the NFLPA told reporters that Wilson was, quote, mistreated. Boy, we could only hope to be mistreated for that kind of money. And the organization was attempting to, quote, get a resolution, though what that means for the quarterback is unclear. Despite the benching, Wilson expressed a desire to return to Denver, and in January, head coach Sean Payton said it was not a guarantee that the team would move on from the 35-year-old. Okay, well, enter in this because a couple of the massive betting outfits now have put the Steelers as the number 1 contender to get Russell Wilson this offseason. And I believe they're also a betting favorite on Justin Fields. So there's clear movement off of Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh. No doubt about that. Something is going down involving the quarterback position. Keeping in mind that in Pittsburgh land, the Steel City, Mike Tomlin is on a little bit of a notice from the owner about winning playoff games. Not making it, winning one. So I think he's got to win a game. And I also think Mike Tomlin came a lot closer to leaving in this offseason than a lot of people realize. There was a lot of fire around that. Pittsburgh Steelers are the betting favorite to land Chicago Bears quarterback Justin Fields, according to odds released this week by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, according to new odds released on Wednesday by offshore sportsbook sportsbetting.ag, they are also the favorites to be the next team for Denver Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson. Wilson was benched by the Broncos for the stretch run. We just went over that. Denver is just 2 seasons removed for trading for Wilson. The Broncos sent 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, quarterback Drew Lock, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, tight end Noah Fant to the Seahawks, along with a partridge in a pear tree for Wilson on March 16, 2022. A Super Bowl champion, 9-time Pro Bowler with the Seahawks, Wilson has struggled in Denver. He posted an 84.4 passer rating in 2022, which was by far the lowest mark of his career, was sacked a league-high 55 times. That's something we have not talked about with him. That is a massive hole in his game right now. He gets sacked a ton. All right, and we all know you take sacks at the wrong time. I believe he had a really bad one against the Patriots towards the end of the year that might have even knocked him out of field goal range. And I think that there was like the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, it was bad. The Broncos fired head coach Nathaniel Hackett after just 1 year, trading more draft picks for former Saints coach Sean Payton this offseason. Wilson has been better with a 98 passer rating in 15 games this season. But he didn't prevent the Broncos from missing the playoffs. Wilson hasn't come close to living up to his 5-year, $243 million contract. This is where it gets ugly for the Broncos. The Broncos will absorb a gigantic salary hit if they move on from Wilson, but they can minimize it if they release him with a post-June designation. That would still deal them a $34 million dead cap charge over 2024 and 2025. It's even worse if the Broncos try to trade Wilson before June 1, so a release seems most likely, which would set him up to come to the Steelers in free agency. Here are the actual odds. The Steelers are favored at a plus 110. Wow. To be the next team for Russell Wilson, nearly even money. The Patriots and the Falcons at plus 400, and there's the Raiders, another team we've talked about a lot, plus 500. I don't know why in the world the Bears would be on here, or the Commanders, really, because they're going to draft quarterbacks. The Vikings, I think that's in play if they lose Kirk Cousins. The Giants are very interesting at plus 2,000. That kind of makes me wish that sports betting was legal in Texas. I might put a little something on that Giants because that sort of makes some sense with Brian Daboll there and Mike Kafka and how what they would try to use Russell Wilson. The Giants, that's sort of sneaky, laying in the weeds out there right now. And Brian Daboll's trying to save his job because there's already rumors that there's tension in the building between Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll went from looking like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread to being one of those coordinators we talk about on this channel all the time that end up being good coordinators and not so good head coaches. Yikes. That's a disaster. Man, losing Wink Martindale. People don't realize he's definitely was in my top 5 NFL defensive coordinators, and now he's at Michigan, so it's good. I'm good. Being a Michigan fan, we're good. So there's Russell Wilson. Steelers got his house up for sale. He knows he's headed out of town. He is headed out of town. Again, Raiders, Ciara can do a residency in Vegas It makes some sense. And Russell's obviously bitter, so he could play the Broncos twice a year. That's interesting. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.